What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. A lot to cover in the markets today, including the market's surprisingly but not surprisingly positive reaction to the 75 basis point interest rate hike. Also some surprising new information about the Terra implosion, and then was the attack an insider job? We'll get into all that. First, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, especially the subscribe button in the bottom right corner. Also follow me on Twitter at BenCryptoShow. I post about 4 or 5 times a day. Some stuff that's in the videos, some stuff that's not. Find some good content there. Let's dive into the big news of the day. The Fed interest rate hike up 75 basis points. This is what everyone expected. This is not really a surprise. On Friday, the announcement came out that the forecast was going to be 75 basis points for today, Wednesday's announcement. So this was more priced in. Friday had the negative effect, and that was unfortunately right before consensus. So the announcement Friday, that's what knocked prices down 5, 6, 7%. And then I think just the conference fatigue, that's what took it to the next level. But as this pretty much happens every single month, once the announcement comes out, then it's over, and the increase was in line with what the expectations were. Then the market pumps, and that's exactly what happened here. So we're flat on the day, but that's because it's been really choppy. And then, as you can see, in the last couple hours since the announcements, it's up about 5, 6, 7%, up from 20,200 to around 21,700 currently. So it's good. So yeah, obviously all the Twitter comments are very sort of drastic and, negative and shocking. Biggest interest rate hike ever. Fed hikes rates by 75 basis points. Yikes, blah, blah, blah. But really, this was all priced in on Friday, and it's just unfortunate timing that I think if the predictions had come out on Monday and not Friday, this whole downturn wouldn't have happened. But the predictions coming out on Friday, knocking prices down 6, 7%, and then into the big conference price movement slump that always happens with every big conference, especially the ones in the U.S., that combination was just too much for the market to withstand, and that's what caused these significant price increases. But the key is, using the information next month and future months to predict. So clearly next month I'll be looking at the announcement beforehand. I'll be looking for a potential reaction. You gotta assume it would be a negative market reaction, but look for the announcement beforehand, and then there should be a pump on the day of the announcement, because this has happened every single month now. Decrease beforehand, pump when the announcement's over. My Twitter poll today, I put this up this morning. So, as I mentioned on the show, the two hottest traders at the moment in crypto, from what I've seen, are Marin Altman and El Capo of crypto. They've just been the most accurate traders at the moment. So I put the poll down. Which one do you think will be more accurate going forward? So far, 16 votes. El Capo of crypto is winning with 75% of the vote. Marin Altman with 25% of the vote. You can vote if you want to. Here are their pages. El Capo of crypto, Marin Altman, both huge followings. The important thing is, since they're both accurate, then what do they think going forward? First, El Capo of crypto, he was very negative price predictions the last few weeks, which nobody on Twitter wanted to hear, even though he's right. So he posted this yesterday for all those who insulted me for weeks, defamed me, laughed at me for predicting Bitcoin would go down 21 to 23K. I won't ask you to apologize. I'll just ask that you, look at all the facts in the future and don't jump down somebody's throat when they have a different opinion, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, it's just the Twitter sentiment's always going to be a little more positive than the negative, because you get a lot of hate if you are negative, even if you're right. Now, some people are negative just for, attention, or they're not going to be accurate. But if you're, this guy's accurate here, so I'm going to pay attention to his price predictions going forward. So he's predicting 18 to 20K, next price down. He's not necessarily saying this is going to be the all-time low. He's just predicting it going forward. Now, he predicted it to happen with the 75 basis point announcement today. So this, I might have to kind of respectfully disagree with him. As I said, it was priced in on Friday, so he was thinking that the announcement today, he was predicting that would cause a capitulation. That didn't happen, but I do tend to agree with his sort of long-term low prediction there, 18 to 20K. Marin Altman, she wrote this morning, she was expecting a short-term bounce in the markets, and that's exactly what I put too. I tweeted this today, expecting a market rate recovery today. Now that the announcement is over, expecting market rate recovery later today. So yeah, I was kind of in line with her prediction there. Both right. Moving on. CZ. put up this tweet this morning. It was not easy saying no to Super Bowl ads, stadium naming rights, large sponsor deals a few months ago, but we did. Today we are hiring for 2,000 open positions for Binance. So yeah, in this economy, hiring for 2,000 open positions is a lot. But yeah, this is a thinly veiled reference to most likely Crypto.com. And back in November of 2021, their $700 million 20-year naming rights deal with the Staples Center in Los Angeles. That's where the Lakers and Clippers play. So this transaction, it kind of raised a lot of red flags. Yes, crypto was at pretty much an all-time high in the 60,000s then. But people just thought it was too much money, $700 million. That's the most expensive naming rights deal in sports history. In any sports, you never know what the prices of crypto are going to be later. Plus the exchange industry, it's one of the most fickle industries around. It's hard enough to be relevant, stay on top for 1 or 2 years, let alone 20 years. The hottest exchange this month is different next month, and blah, blah, blah. So people just thought they were paying too much, and then for 20 years was just way too long. So the appeal is to be what CZ is given sort of a slightly veiled reference to. This would indicate, you probably think the Staples Center and other stadiums did come to his organization, Binance, before they came to Crypto.com. That wouldn't surprise me, but he was savvy enough to say no. Now they're hiring for 2,000 open positions. I mean, in fairness to all the other exchanges, most are laying off. So this is just the anomaly right here, but most are laying off. Coinbase, let me move this so we can see this here. So 3 Arrows insolvents. This came out last night. 3 Arrows potentially insolvent after unforeseen liquidations. They supposedly had $400 million in liquidations. They were heavily involved in Terra. They were heavily invested in Solana, which is down 90% from its all-time high. That's worse than Ethereum, 77% they're down. And I guess the tipping points for 3 Arrows Capital kind of going under was they were heavily involved with a lot of assets on Celsius. That perfect trifecta, Celsius, Terra, and then the market downturn combined with Solana as well. That is what appeared to kind of sort of put their fund to an end. The reaction of the 2 CEOs on Twitter, it's not very promising. So one of the guys, Kyle Davies, he's just been radio silent the last 5-6 days. That's not good. And this other guy, Zhu Su, he put out this tweet last night. We are in the process of communicating with the relevant parties and fully committed to working this out. That's not very promising language, if you ask me. This is kind of just like, well, we need to tweet something so we're not accused of being shady, but there's just absolutely nothing optimistic about this, fully committed to working this out. It certainly sounds like that fund might be underwater if you're an investor in it. I wouldn't be too optimistic at the moment. So yeah, they've been around since 2012, one of the old swans, 13 employees, so pretty decent sized, based in Singapore. Supposedly at their peak, their assets, they had $10 billion in assets is the rumor. So it just goes to show, crypto, it's the wild, wild west. You know, the old school dinosaurs, they can just blow up at any time. Let's get into some market metrics. So the Bitcoin greed and fear at 7 today. Second all-time low score ever. So we hit 8 twice in the last few months. Now we beat that. We're at 7, and then the record is 5. I previously thought the record was 6. The record's 5 from 2019. So the mood is negative, but that doesn't mean the price is going to keep going down. Here's some bullish indicators. So this right here is showing retail infusions of capital over Bitcoin's lifetime. So retail traders are important because they trade quickly. They trade with a lot of excitement. They trade with a lot of mania, a lot of momentum. Word of mouth travels faster with them. So when they're in markets, those markets tend to pump more so than when institutional investors are heavily involved in a market, even if institutional investors are investing greater amounts of capital. So this is kind of positive. It obviously, you know, since 2018, retail inflows have steadily increased, but the last 6 months or so, the increase has been just a higher spike than the previous year, 2 years, 3 years. See, about twice as high, so that's good. So it hasn't really translated to an increase in price, but at least retail traders are entering the market faster than they have been previously. This is also bullish. Google search terms for Bitcoin. So as you over the lifetime, so you can see in 2018, in that bear market, search terms went down significantly. But in the bear market of the last year, they have not. They've maintained exactly flat. So this goes to show people are still they still enjoy reading about Bitcoin. The media is still reporting on it. There's a lot more interesting characters in crypto Twitter now than there were in 2018. So the intrigue, the interest, the buzz is still there. It's just not translating to increased prices. The price movement has been identical to 2018, even though people are Googling Bitcoin much more so during this bear market than that bear market. But I guess that just hasn't translated to more buyers than sellers. This here just quickly explains what caused the carnage of the last week. I showed this on my Twitter, but in the last month, the number of leveraged long positions for Bitcoin spiked significantly. Leveraged longs means you're long, but then you have leverage in it, which means those traders have more conviction, they're more confident about their positions than usual. So this should be a bullish indicator. It means the sentiment is extremely confident it's going to go up, but it's dangerous because since these people are so leveraged, if there's a small downturn in the market, 5, 6, 7% decrease, a lot of people are just instantly wiped out, machine-like, and that causes the cascading downward effect on price, and that's what happened here. So it's not surprising when it hit 30K a month or two ago. A lot of people were buying, even the whales were buying. Everyone was predicting that was the bottom, so there were more confident leveraged long positions initiated then than pretty much ever before. But then when the initial predictions of the Fed interest rate hike plus the consensus effect of the weekend caused a 6-7% decrease in price, then all these leveraged longs were wiped out, and that's what cascaded things immediately down to 21, 22, literally overnight. Just like that. It was almost immediate. And this here, the cover story. So, new research reveals Terra's collapse may have been an inside job. So this is pretty interesting. So obviously with the Terra situation, everyone knows it was a deliberate attack. There's absolutely no clues whatsoever until now who's been behind it. Some people think crypto hedge funds are behind it. Some people think mainstream hedge funds are behind it. Some people have all sorts of conspiracy theories. Some people think it might have been a rival blockchain. There's been no evidence towards any one of those whatsoever. It's just an open playing field. All we know is that it was a deliberate attack by a very well-funded attacker. $280 million they used to launch this attack, meaning they must be a billionaire. They must have much more than that, too. So that's what's intriguing. It's just a very well-funded, important entity. No information who it is, but now this is interesting. So this report, this organization, research group came out with a report. They traced, so we know what all the Terra attacking wallets, we have the addresses and the funds. Obviously, they're anonymous wallets. This is an attack here. So there's going to be no name linked to these, but this group traced all the funds, and then they specifically traced, so I guess in January, when one of the attacking wallets was preparing for the attack, they sent a few test transactions to Binance, to the wallet on Binance, the meme pool, the account on Binance that was initially used, that was then used to launch the attack. And what they found is that some of those test transactions were then linked to another wallet, which wasn't one of the attacking wallets, but we know that this wallet is linked to the test transaction, so a lot of the funds came from this wallet. And we don't know whose it is, but a person on Twitter who runs is one of the validators for Terra. So when you send a transaction on a network like Terra, somebody or a couple people run the validator nodes. They verify each transaction is good. The address is good. The amount's good. There's no typo. It's not a double spend. And then they give it their confirmation. And usually most networks need 3, 5, 10 confirmations for the transaction to be officially passed through. So the wallet, one of the attacking wallets, what it was connected to was one of these validating node wallets. And we know that because I'm not going to put it up here, but the guy who runs the Twitter page for this Terra validator, he put up a tweet 2 weeks ago identifying the wallet as his. He used tweet's still up there. He hasn't taken it down, even though people are making the connection. But he used it. It was a tweet like, "Yep, see, we're burning our coins now." Tweet was sent from his wallet to the burning wallet, but then the original wallet, which he identified in his through this tweet here, that was one of the attacking wallets, and he hasn't taken it down. He's very defensive, and he and some other people have then countered with an argument that that wallet isn't his, even though it's in the tweet he put up identifying it has his wallet. It hasn't taken down. He's then countered with no evidence whatsoever that it's not his wallet. It's the hot wallet of one of the big Asia exchanges. You can just Google and see what the rumors are. But he provided no evidence of that whatsoever. He still wasn't taking the tweet down. Like, if it's not your wallet, why is the tweet still up there? And I've just seen way too many rumors of exchange hot wallets, people thinking a wallet address and blockchain explorer with various transactions belongs to one exchange. No one knows which ones are the exchange hot wallets. There's a lot of big money wallets that have money moving around. No one knows what belongs to what. So I don't. The counterclaims that it's not his wallet, that it's the exchange hot wallet, the Asia exchange hot wallets exchange, and they did this attack instead. It seems a little wishy-washy to me. If you want to know which exchange it is, or see this guy's Twitter page who runs the Terra Validator, no, just Google it. I'm not going to put it up here because nothing's fully confirmed, but this would be in line with, if this is true, an insider job. Somebody just in the greater Terra ecosystem, the validator guy who had a personal grudge against Do Kwon. It doesn't look like it was financially driven. It doesn't look like there was a short position executed at the same time. Just somebody not liking their boss and then planning out the attack for months, having the funds and resources to execute it. That's what this would be in line with if this is all accurate. So, sure, that story will be picking up more news as the days and weeks go on. That's it for today. Again, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Follow me on Twitter @BenCryptoShow. Ben Crypto signing out. Later.